All right. Good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. We are back for our 6 o'clock coverage on Pure Weather. I am Andrew Austin Adler, and with me tonight we got Jill Dunbar, Andrew Pasley, and Andrew Fawcett. We got Sound Crews, and we got Andrew Fawcett, who will be out doing field coverage from the parking lot. We are out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who will be... Oh, God, we don't want that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this radar grab. We're looking at the MRM's data, which is all of the radars in the nation together in a mosaic. Tulsa, Oklahoma, we are right here in the middle of this storm. If you're wondering what this is, that is what we call a dry slot, which is dry air advected from the plateaus of Mexico, pushed north into the storm that's undercutting those thunderstorms and showers that is undercutting that precipitation there. We are in the middle of this very heavy band, and the models originally showed us getting dried out with this dry air here, but that's gone further to our west than what was originally thought of. So that's why we're put under a winter storm warning. This winter storm warning is in effect until noon on Friday. That's 12 p.m. tomorrow morning. And additional accumulations on top of what we have now, 4 to 6 inches. We have about 2 inches on the ground right now, so that's 6 to 8 in total. We will be going live out to Andrew Fawcett here in a minute once he gets all set up out there. A very heavy band of snow is working its way north. So that will be a very heavy band is working its way up north into the South Metroplex right now. As the night progresses, this over here, this feature that's near the Great Lakes and drooping down, you can see all that right there. That is our cold front tonight, and that cold front is going to get closer and closer and closer. And as that cold front, which is right here, collides with our storm, that's going to act as a way to kind of squeeze the moisture out in the atmosphere, and that's going to produce enhanced snowfall rates, lower visibility, and definitely way lower temperatures. That's going to increase our snowfall totals quite a bit as we head into the overnight hours. It is 6 o'clock, and snow will be going on for the next 18 or so hours as we head overnight. Tulsa, stuck in this very, very heavy band of snow for the foreseeable future. We're going to go down from our radar, which is the MRMs. We're going to take a look at the single site radar data, which is right here. It's a more localized radar site, and it has higher end, higher resolution radar data with us. You can see right now for the Tulsa area, we are under a winter storm warning. Here is another really heavy band, and if we put this radar grab into motion, you can see as that heavy band is beginning to work its way northeast. That is going to cause enhanced drops in visibility as it gets closer to us, and the roads that are already covered in snow are going to get more treacherous to drive in. Anyways, we are going to be heading out to Andrew Fawcett here in a minute. He's working on his camera setting up, and we're getting the light set up out there so we can get you some good visuals. We're going to be live every 30 minutes on here, and in between live sessions, we're going to leave the stream running with the MRM countrywide radar grab so that you can see how the storm is progressing. If we take a zoomed out area, we can just see how absolutely massive the influence of this storm is. All of the counties that are in purple are under a winter weather advisory. The counties in pink, those are winter storm warnings, which is considered significant impacts. And the counties in blue are heightened confidence and significant impacts, so winter storm watches. Looking here, Tulsa, we are under a winter storm warning. Oklahoma City, you're under a winter storm warning, and the winter storm warning goes all the way down to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where they can see an additional 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. So we are seeing more snow up here than they are down there. They also have to deal with a winter mix. Okay. They're going to have icing and wintry mix, so that's freezing rain, which is rain that comes down as a liquid but freezes on contact. So that turns the power lines and roads and everything else essentially covered in ice, which is very devastating. We also have sleet, which is another form of wintry precipitation, and of course snow. Let's take a look at these models, our model data, which we can use here. We're going to look at the HRRR, which initiates every few hours. And if we look at, where's the winter weather precipitation type, which is down here. This is hour 1. And as you can see, we're going to point out some features here as we look at our future track radar. Here's the dry slot that we're talking about right there. Here's our precipitation shield. And here is the cold front. As we put this into motion, we're going to outline those features, and I want you to look at them. Here comes, within the next few hours, this is about 8 o'clock local time, you can see the cold front interacts with the snow system at about 10 p.m., so that's in 3 hours from now. That's when it will interact with each other. So this run just started at 23Z, and you can see this is about as far as my data goes for this run, so we're going to move it forward. We're going to move it back an hour. So there's our cold front here. There's our dry air. As we move this forward, you can see the cold front crashes in, enhances that precip shield. And here's the important part. Down here, this is what remains of that cold front as it begins to fill in that dry slot. Here's Tulsa right here at the crux of all of that. And this is going to continue with heavy, wet snow. This is 1 in the morning. We are still snowing very heavily right now. 1 in the morning. And then at about 3 a.m., the last of the heavy snow begins to move out. We're done with heavy snow at that point. Some light snow bands and some light snow showers are still in the area at about 5 a.m. Here's 6 a.m., the morning commute at about 6 a.m. There's still some snow showers in the area, still a chance of accumulation at this point. And then some back-end snow at about 8 a.m. You can see Tulsa, we're still dealing with some snow bands by 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 10 a.m., and then that's as far as my model goes. How much snow? Additionally, not just excluding what we already have, which is about 2.5 inches at this point in time. So excluding 2 inches, we're going to take a look. Here's the snowfall for our area. Additional 3 to 4 inches, give or take, 3 to 4 inches. So that's about 5 to 6 in total. This might be underdoing it just a little bit because the HRRR does have a warm temperature bias that we've noticed, because comparing this last night when the storm started moving in the Texas region, we took a look at what the HRRR was showing on that future track radar option versus what the radar was actually showing, and the moisture and the temperature was considerably colder and more widespread than what the model was showing. So I would take these totals with a grain of salt. Moving on to the NAM 3 kilometer, this is another model that we look at. Same thing, we're going to put it through to the future track radar option. Starting right now, you can see a little bit less of that dry air problem moving through. Now I will say this is earlier in the day, this is about 1 p.m. It's definitely not 1 p.m. anymore. As we move this forward in time, this is the 18Z run. This runs every 4 hours, not every hour like the other one did. When we run this forward, here it is at 6 o'clock, which is where we are right now. You can see actually a lot less of that dry air issue than what we're seeing right now. A lot less. So that automatically, to me, raises a red flag that whatever it outputs is not going to be necessarily correct. If you look up north, you can see here's that cold front that I was talking about. Let's move this. It does have the snow rate correct for the Tulsa area. We're going to move this a few hours in advance. There's our dry air. So it had it a little bit later than what it is in actuality. Still way off to the west, not affecting our snow rates at all. Then it gets filled in at about 10 p.m. This is at 3 a.m. Still some very heavy snow. 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, 9, And then snow begins to clear out around midday, around the lunchtime hour. So we have about 2 inches on the ground right now. This gives us an additional, this is crazy. This gives us an additional 7 inches of snow compared to what. So this model has us capping out at 9 inches. I don't think we're going to get that much snow. I think that's overblowing it a little bit. 9 inches is a bit much. But that is what this model is showing. So we could go anywhere from 5 inches in total to about 9 inches in total. What's actually really shocking to me, and totally not going to happen, 24 inches in southern Arkansas? Don't think so. Little Rock getting an additional 16 inches of snow. That's definitely not going to happen. This model is a little bit overblown with the thermodynamics, I think. But still, a very significant winter storm is ongoing. I hear we have some issues with our camera outside, so I'm not entirely sure that we're going to be able to do a live shot of this round, or maybe we are. Sorry, communication's kind of shoddy in here. The snow's crazy. So we're going to go back to current radar, and we're going to do countrywide radar, and this is what it looks like at the moment. We're situated within this heavy band. There's the dry air. It's a little more expansive than what some of the models were predicting, but that's okay. Oklahoma City is getting into that dry slot, is what it's called. Dallas, Texas is now moving in to some very heavy snow. And I just got word that now we are good to go out to... he's not out there quite yet. Give us just a moment. We'll go give you some live shots from the field. All right, are we ready? I think so. All right, Andrew Fawcett, let's see what's happening out there. Can you give us some of your insights?
It's cold.
Yeah, really.
I don't like it.
What's the snow looking like? We were just out there doing a live shot for Instagram. Has the rate changed at all? Has it gotten heavier or lighter?
I wouldn't say it's changed a whole lot, honestly. It still kind of just looks like glitter coming down. I wouldn't say quite sideways, but it's definitely coming down diagonally. There's a bit of a wind chill coming in from this way. What direction is that? That's the...
I think that's west. Or is it east? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on
You're
that.
facing
I'm
north.
directionally challenged. Yeah. I'm facing north?
You're facing north.
Okay, it's going west then. Anyway.
All right, yeah, westerly wind. I mean, that does make sense because that's where the cold front's coming from.
Yeah. I mean, it does. There is someone coming down here. It's not, like, overly freezing me, but it's not pleasant. I wouldn't, like, be out here if I wasn't doing anything. But the snow's still coming down. It's hitting me. Actually, the wind just calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
But...
Any additional accumulations that you've seen?
I mean, definitely. We've definitely seen some accumulation. Even in the past, 5 minutes, I saw some truck come in here and pop like a Yui. And that's a bit covered up now even. But I'd say we've actually picked up probably 6, maybe even 1/4 of an inch since the last time we checked in.
How is the roads looking?
Rough. They're looking rough. It's getting later in the day. We don't have as many cars coming through to clear that out. I did see some snow plows earlier, but I don't think they were actually actively plowing.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to start plowing until the storm stops. At least that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to be until midday tomorrow. Has it gotten a lot colder? I'm showing we're 31 degrees now.
It is definitely cold out here. Like I said, the wind is bringing it down a bit. I'd say it feels low 30s, high 20s.
Yeah.
Right now. The wind, I'd say, is bringing it down to probably low 20s, high teens right now. Especially, my hand is... I should have brought gloves, man. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, me too. I know. I did a live shot out there earlier, a few minutes ago, and I was suffering. I was struggling out there. I don't know how you do it. All right. So if you were to gauge how many inches you think we got so far, on any of the surfaces, really, how's our snowfall turnout looking?
So, I mean, it really depends on where you're looking. Right now, I'm sitting out here in the parking lot where we weren't actually getting accumulation until about an hour ago when it started picking up and the temperature dropped a bit. I'd say right now we're looking at probably about an inch out here, give or take a tiny bit. I'm going to estimate about an inch. Over here out in the grass, I'd say we're at 2, maybe even 3 at this point, though.
Yep. Yeah, it's been snowing all day. So the grass started accumulating instantly. You said that we started accumulating snow out there an hour ago?
Give or take, yeah, in the parking lot.
So that's like about an hour, an inch per hour snowfall rates, maybe a little bit less than that. That is significant, and it's going to continue like this all night. It's 6 o'clock, and another heavy band is actually coming up the pike, and it should be here in about 15 minutes. So we'll try and time our break to make sure that you're standing out when that band hits.
You're so nice to me.
I know. Welcome to winter storm coverage. We actually got more snow that is beginning to fill in on that backside that I'm noticing on the recent radar trends. So it's going to be a very long night. So yes, thank you so much, Fawcett, for that very brave live update.
I'm not that cool.
Yeah, well, you're in weather, that is. All right, we're going to take one more look at this radar here before we take a little break. As you can see, what I'm seeing right now is some new development. If you look in this area with the recent radar scans, you can see just a little bit more snow is beginning to fill in on that backside. Here next to Tulsa, you can see a brand new little very heavy pocket of snowfall is beginning to form, and that's going to be moving into our area, and same with all of these. So these are very heavy snowfall bands that we're going to be looking at moving in. We are by no ways done, and this is a very significant snowfall event. We will be back at 6:45 with more coverage. Yo, Pasley. Yeah. So join us again at 6:45, and we will be back then, and we'll have full team coverage continuing all night. Keep it here at Pure Weather. and welcome back to our Winter Storm live team coverage as a significant winter storm impacts Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas tonight and tomorrow morning. We are live with in-the-field coverage and in-studio coverage. If you're looking at our winter radar right now, the winter radar from all of the different radars in the country, we call this a radar mosaic, and that is together showing you the overall influence of this snow system. It's pretty large, to say the least. If we can measure it and go from the uppermost point all the way down to the southernmost, and it's about 846 miles across in diameter from Kansas City, who's getting snow, all the way down to Nuevo Laredo. Zooming in close to home, we are here in Tulsa, so let's get rid of the MRM data and go to single site radar, and you can see we are currently dealing with a very heavy band of snowfall right now. Visibilities have dropped to, let's say, a quarter of a mile out there. We were setting up the camera for Andrew Fawcett's next live shot with us, and the wind blew the light for his shot, blew it over, knocked it down. So if you're thinking about driving in this weather, take my advice and don't. If you're wondering why we have a lack of precipitation over here, that is because we are dealing with some dry air in the area. That's going to get mixed out as we head into the overnight hours at around 10 o'clock, 11 p.m. Very heavy snow will continue to make its way northward. We have a winter storm warning in effect until noon tomorrow, so that's 12 p.m. tomorrow morning. 4 to 6 inches are still left. We actually, Andrew Fawcett is going to be measuring snow out there in his next live shot, but we measured some in between shots. And we managed to get about 4 inches of snow has already fallen, at least in the open fields. Snow has started accumulating on the parking lot outside about an hour ago, and now we are already have an inch to an inch and a half of accumulation on there. Lots to go tonight. We are far from done here with this winter storm. The Weather Channel is named it Winter Storm Cora. We are dealing with some sublimation here. You can tell by the difference in height with these radar echoes. This is higher in the atmosphere. This is lower. You can see, and as we move lower, watch that band over there. It disappears on this radar because the sublimation is beginning to moisten those lower levels of the atmosphere. Glad that's happening over Oklahoma City and not over here for storm totals anyways. So that heavy band will begin to push northward into the Tulsa metro area, and if you think that we are anywhere near done with snowfall tonight, not a chance. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go out and take a look at what Andrew Fawcett has to offer. Do you have your measuring tape with you? Yes, you do. All right, what are you seeing out there? Give us all the rundown. Show us everything.
So I'm seeing about the same as we saw earlier, maybe a little bit more coming down even. It's the wind picked up a good bit. It's not constant, but we're definitely getting some gusts. There was one point when I saw the wind going completely sideways, and I even saw some snow going back up.
Back up to the clouds.
Returning.
All right, so we measured some snowfall out there earlier. Mind telling us about that?
So it really, like I've been saying, it really depends on where you measure. We have, right now I'm out here in this parking lot. It didn't start accumulating here this morning when it started snowing just because of some residual heat built up in there. Over here in the grass, though, it's been building up all day. In fact, if I was to take the tape measure, and let's take it over here. In fact, if I was to stick this in here in this grass, here we're reading 2, but over here, for example, we're reading almost 4 right here in the grass.
Wow, 4 inches, and that was with a marginal snow ratio earlier because the temperature was 34 degrees. Snow started at 11 a.m. We already have 4 inches, and we're about to enter the height of the storm, where we're about to get the heaviest snow rates. I will have you know The criteria for a winter storm warning in northeast Oklahoma is 4 inches of snow. So if we already have 4 inches on the ground, we've already exceeded that.
One thing I do want to I want to pay attention to is this little strip right here on the parking lot. I actually, about 5 minutes ago now, 4 or 5 minutes ago, went with my foot and just swept it clear as good as I could. As you can see, I don't know how well y'all can see right now. There is definitely snow building back up on it. It's not like a measurable amount, but it's visible and it's starting to cover it. And this is within the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, so we're dealing with some very enhanced snowfall rates. I believe I don't know if I heard this correctly, but you were setting up the camera out there and the wind blew your light over.
This is true. I set it up here. I came over here. I was clearing this out, as I mentioned. Womp. Also, I don't know if y'all can see in the light. We're getting some like power flashes. Seems like
power flashes. Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm getting out here. I'm getting flashes of my audio. I'm getting flashes of my light.
Yeah. Power. Oh, that's not good. So what's happening most likely is we're getting this snow. When it's wet snow, it's sticky. So it sticks to the power lines. It sticks to the tree branches, and it weighs them down. And what happens is if you're seeing power flashes, that means that we're getting excess weight on the power lines and on trees, and we're getting some trees down, which I'm not sure. Those reports, I'm not sure about that. We'll have to look into that during our next break. I do have information that Holland Hall School is closed tomorrow. Official snow day tomorrow if you're in Holland Hall, and official snow day if you're at Booker T schools. I have no information on Tulsa Public Schools yet or any other schools in the area. I just know that those two are done, and OSU and OU and TCC campuses are also closed. Back to you, Fawcett.
Yeah, so as I said, we're still getting some pretty substantial snowfall coming down here. The wind still isn't as much as we've seen earlier today, but it's still not non-existent. The snow is definitely coming down, not quite 45 degrees, but maybe 35 degrees straight down.
Wow. Yeah, it's coming down.
And it's cold.
Yeah, it is cold. Temperature trends, any lower than when you were last out there? I know it was about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I feel like the temperature feels about the same, maybe a tiny bit colder. Like I said, the wind isn't quite as much as it was, so if anything, it doesn't quite feel as cold, at least on my hands right now. That wind was brutal earlier.
Yeah, knocking down your equipment out there. That's wild. Yeah, Tulsa Public School. I just got Tulsa Public Schools is closed as well. So snow day across the entire county. Oh, God. Okay, wait, I just got more information. We have an official list of school closings that I'm going to read off here in a minute after Fawcett finishes his live reporting. And we have a few more things to show you. So anything else that you'd like to report out there?
The one thing I did also want to point out over here, like I said, in this parking lot, we haven't been accumulating as much over here. But even with this ruler, we are still reading about an inch in some spots. And this has been accumulating for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And there's some parts over here where it's deeper.
All right. We will be back with Fawcett when we're out next, when we come back. Thank you, Fawcett, for that wonderful live shot. So we're going to go ahead and leave up the radar while I read off this full list of school closings here in the Tulsa area. For some reason, it's not working. Uh-oh. All right, so ATA College is closed. Afton Schools is closed. Allen Bowden Schools are closed. Augustine Christian Academy is closed on Friday. Bartlesville Schools, you're doing distance learning on Friday. Beggs Public Schools, you're closed. Berry Hills Schools is closed Friday. Bishop Kelly, you are doing distance online learning Cyber Day on Friday. Bixby Schools is closed on Friday. Bragg Schools, you're doing distance learning virtual tomorrow. Briggs Schools is doing distance learning. Bristow Schools, you're doing distance learning. Broken Arrow Schools, you're closed. Busy Bees Child Care Center, you're closed on Friday as well. CARD Senior Centers, Mays Company, you're closed on Friday. And Mays, Nowata, and Rogers, and Centers Washington Company are all closed. CAP Tulsa is closed on Friday. Caney Valley Schools are doing distance learning on Friday. Chakota Schools are closed. Choto Maisie Schools are closed on Friday. Christian Montessori Academy is closed on Friday. All of the Claremore schools are also closed Friday. Clary Sage College on Thursday evening. Campus closes at 3 p.m. They are closed on Friday. Cleara schools are closed on Friday. Colcord schools are closed. Collinsville schools, if you're in Collinsville, those schools are closed on Friday as well. Community Care College, Thursday evening the campus is closing at 3 p.m. They will be closed tomorrow. Connor State College in Muskogee is closed on Friday. Connor State College in Warner is closed. Crowder Schools is closed on Friday. Dewey Schools, Drexel Academy, Drumright Schools are all closed on Friday. Eagle Point Christian Academy is doing distance learning. Eastern Oklahoma State College, Elevate Oklahoma, Eufaula Schools, Evergreen Academy, Foyle Schools are all closed on Friday. Glenpool Schools, Gore Schools are both distance learning tomorrow. Granville Schools is closed Friday. We also got Green Country Tech Center, Growing Gracefully Preschool, Haleyville Schools, Hannah Schools, Hartshorn Nutrition Center, Meal Pickup 9 to 11 closed on Friday. Haskell Schools are closed on Friday. Hilldale School is distance learning. Henry Lee is closed Friday. Emmanuel Lutheran Christian Academy is also closed on Friday. And many, many, many more. So basically every school on the list is either doing distance learning or closed on Saturday, including Holland Hall. With that, before we end off this little segment of streaming, I would like to point out and show you guys the Tulsa Mesonet and what we're seeing with our live conditions here. So we're going to be looking at temperature trends. We're going to be looking at dew point departures, which is moisture in the atmosphere, so we can see exactly where that dry air is and where it's going to go. Then we're going to take a look at the radar, and then we will close it out until the next time we're back. So if we take a look, that's our current radar there. I'm going to move this over. Here is the Mesonet. We're going to go to take a look at the air temperature right now. So here's our air temperature, 29 degrees all across the metro. And if you don't know, oh, well, that's a problem. 29 degrees in the metro over here. I'm not sure why it's doing that. 29 degrees in the metro. The only area that's above freezing in the entire state is in the Panhandle in Beaver County. Beaver, the city of Beaver in the Panhandle is above freezing. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at dew point and humidity, here's the current relative humidity, almost 100% across the board. So that is very good for snowfall rates, at least in northeastern Oklahoma. What I'm really interested in is the 3-hour humidity change. Now you can see it's decreasing with that humidity, showing a little bit of dry air. Theta E beginning to decrease a little bit in this region, which is showcasing just a little bit of dry air advection there. Which is why we're seeing that. Oh, there's Andrew Fawcett. Hello. Haha. Okay, back. I know him. Oh. We're going back to the radar. Yeah. Sorry, we were doing some debriefing during our break there, and I left that open. Okay, back to our radar before we end this segment of coverage. It's now 7 o'clock. It's been snowing for a very, very long time. Andrew Fawcett out there measuring about 4 inches on the ground right now. It looks like there's a little bit of dry air that's going to try and weasel its way here. Not too sure about that in the long run, though, as we still have what's moving north. This big band of snow will be pushing in within the next 30 minutes, which is when we're going to try and have Andrew Fawcett stand back out and report in that one. If we go to the Oklahoma City radar, you can also see that little sliver of dry air that got in there, just a little bit, so our snow rates might decline over the next 30 minutes. Don't think that it's stopping. The snowstorm is not over. And here we're just going to look at a little bit. I say a little bit. That's actually a very heavy snow band that will be moving into our area here within the next couple of minutes. We're going to look here now at the MRM model. And this is where we're going to leave you here. We went over models in the last segment. The next segment, we're going to go over models again because they're updating. We have the HRRR, which is the high-resolution rapid refresh model, which runs every hour on the hour. Every hour on the hour. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of live coverage. We will be back at 7:25 on the dot. So stick it with us here at PureWeather. We have you covered for as long as conditions allow, and it is safe to do so, with people live reporting in the field and live expert analysis in the studio. So yeah, stick it with us and join us back at 7:25. And welcome back. We are back. It is 7:25 p.m. on this Thursday evening, and we are currently tracking the significant winter storm that is impacting us here in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas tonight. On the screen right now, you can see the latest radar data, and you can see a little depreciation in the values here in the Tulsa region. A little bit of dry air got mixed in, and it's causing just a little bit lighter snow rates than what we've been experiencing. But that's all about to change within the next 20 minutes as we got this massive band that will be moving northeast. As we scroll out a little bit, take a very a wider view of our snow. You can see we have this area here. The cold front is making its way down in here. With the force of this cold front, we are going to see some back-end snow begin to fill in all of that dry air, and that's going to push in. Latest data has some very concerning messages for us here in Oklahoma that we will go over here in a minute. But first, what I want to show you is the recent snow reports. I say recent. These snow reports that you're seeing on the screen right now are from, I think, an hour ago, maybe a little more than that. But we got maybe a little more than that. But we got about 0.5, so that's half an inch in this shaded area here. And in this area, we got about an inch of snowfall, inch and a half. I think that has migrated a little bit northeast since we got this data in. But what I really want to point out is McAllister, at the time of this image, 6 to 7 inches of snow has already fallen there. And we are dealing with a wide swath of 6 to 7 inches here. Now, these are only going to increase as we go throughout the evening and evening and overnight hours. What I do want to show you next is the high-resolution rapid refresh model, and this is the 00Z model that initialized an hour ago. So this initialized at 6 o'clock, and it is now showing the data for 7 o'clock. And from the hours of 6 to 7, we have managed to amass 0.8 inches of snow in 1 hour. So that is a lot of, according to this model, we don't actually know because we don't have the reports in yet. But what I really want to show you is this is what it looks like right now at 7 o'clock is what this looks like. And you can definitely see that dry punch through the center of the storm there that is being advected in from the source region or the Mexican plateau. And what we're going to do is push this forward, and you can see that it's the snow. We will be remaining in heavy snow until 16 Z, which is noon on Friday. So that's an additional 14 hours that we're going to be in this snow. And I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but 5 to 7 inches of snow additional on top of what we already have is what this model is outputting for us. Might be a little overbearing, but we're going to be exploring that possibility after we go overhead to Fawcett. Andrew Fawcett, who is standing outside right now. I believe we're ready for us there. So let's go ahead and see what's happening outside. How's the snow? How's everything going?
Hi. So I think overall we have about the same amount of snow coming down as we did last time. In between now and the last time I was out here, I think it slowed down a little bit, but it seems to have picked up back then, or since then.
And if my memory serves, you did draw a line in the snow to kind of gauge the accumulation halfway through. Can you still see that line? Can you still make out where it is, or has it all filled in?
Yeah, I did. So it's still here. It's still visible. However, I can no longer see the road through it. So I drew that probably about 30-40 minutes ago. And since then, we've accumulated probably about like what you were saying earlier. You're saying about 0.8 inches an hour. I'd say we have probably half an inch right there.
That is insane. That's an insane amount of snow. This is definitely one of our biggest snow events that we've had in the last few years, for sure. Okay, so I understand that you have your tape measure with you. You should definitely show us a few spots out there and see what we got.
So I mean, right here, sitting in the parking lot, we're still sitting at about 1 inch. Obviously, it hasn't been accumulating as fast out in this parking lot. We got that residual heat still coming up, not letting it stack on as fast. As far as this grassy area over here is concerned, here we're looking at 1. This actually might still be concrete. This is still concrete. I'm just lying to y'all now. As far as this grassy area is concerned, we're looking at 3 inches right now.
3 inches. Oh wow! Already?
Yep.
I remember I went out there between coverage, and I measured about 5 inches in the grass. Now, a grassy surface definitely isn't the best place to measure snowfall, but it has been accumulating all day.
Yeah. And I'll even go out and say there's some parts over here that I can measure at 4 inches.
That's a lot of snow.
I can probably even do 4.5 in a few places. I'm seeing some places. It's definitely not even. It has evened out a bit, but yeah, there's some places I'd say 4.5.
Now, I'm very curious because this is very heavy and wet snow. So how are the trees doing? Because I know there's some trees in your area. Are they sagging under the weight at all?
So I wouldn't say right now on my line of sight, if we can get up here, there is this tree right here. I wouldn't say it's sagging necessarily. However, there's some snow sitting on it in a very ominous way, and the kind of way where I don't want like a sudden gust of wind would really be unpleasant for me right now.
Yeah, knock all that snow off.
Yeah, it's just piling on there. The tree seems to be taking it. It seems to be pretty strong, but yeah, I see what you mean about that really thick, wet snow. It is just piling on top of itself.
It's going to be perfect for making snowballs tomorrow.
This is true. In fact, it's perfect for making snowballs right now, actually. Packs really well.
Yeah, snowman. What's good is that we're getting a lot more snow than what we initially anticipated. What are your general thoughts?
Cold. It's cold. Don't drive out here if you don't have to. Just don't. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. Have you seen any plows go by? Any cars? Any very brave drivers that are out on the road right now?
I mean, I actually saw somebody up in this parking lot earlier, so there is that. I did just see a car go by, but I am seeing more snow start to accumulate on the street. As it gets later, we have fewer and fewer cars coming in. I do think I hear one coming. Oh, yep, there we go. We have that is a pickup truck hauling a backloader, I guess.
A backloader?
Apparently.
In a snowstorm.
Yep, so on a trailer.
Interesting. The road conditions, I assume, continue to deteriorate.
Yeah, from what I can see here.
Yeah, so this is why we tell you that even if the snow isn't accumulating on the roads right as the event starts, all of that wetness will freeze over as we enter the evening. And that is not a good sign in the slightest.
Don't drive, y'all.
Yep, you heard him.
Not a great idea.
If you don't need to go to the hospital, if you're not an essential worker, don't drive. Don't do it. There's no reason to risk your life for a bag of Takis.
And listen, I want to there are probably a lot of people out there. I'm from Michigan. I can drive in this. I'm sure you can. We can't.
It's Oklahoma, right? People up in Michigan and Montana, I mean, they get this kind of snow, and they're fine with it. But here in the South, 4 inches of snow is considered a crippling winter storm.
Even if you do know what you're doing, just exercise such extreme caution because no one else here knows what they're doing.
Yeah, no one here has...
Nobody.
Literally, nobody in this city... nobody in the city has snow tires. We don't put chains on our tires. We don't have heated roads. Our snow plows...
I'm sorry, we do have a plow coming through right now.
Oh, are they plowing or are they not plowing?
I believe they are plowing.
Okay, great. So they are actively plowing the roads. That's not going to stop the ice, though.
It is not.
It is not. No. And I mean, our plows, they're not really equipped. We don't have enough plows in our city to really handle snow events of this magnitude, which is another reason why it's best to be off the road so you can let the city workers do what they're supposed to do in restoring that infrastructure. Because when we get snowstorms like this, sure, it's fun, it's pretty, but our infrastructure here in the South does take a toll. And that's why it's such a big deal down in cities like Dallas and Birmingham, which are getting incredible winter impacts, regionally at least. They're next in the pike. We're getting it first. They're coming tomorrow and the day after down there as the storm propagates eastward. Some good news, though, is tomorrow afternoon around lunchtime, drier air wraps around the backside of the system. It all clears out. It's going to be a sunny day, a sunny, cold day, but it's going to be sunny and very, very pretty. So perfect sledding weather, perfect snowball weather, perfect weather to make snowmen. It's going to be great. And if I was anything else?
Not that I can think of right now. No. If anything, the snow might be letting up a tiny bit right now. But I also might be making that up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and diagnose that on the radar real quick. Thank you, Andrew, for that phenomenal live reporting out there. We'll see you when we come back. So, yes, Andrew is correct in that sentiment that it is lighting up just a teeny bit, if you can even call it that, really. If you're looking on the radar, you can see just a little area here and a little area here that is devoid of, devoid. They're still getting some light snow. What we are really looking for is within the next hour or so, we're going to get this very heavy band of snow that will propagate northeast and move into the metro area. Taking a more wider look, we're going to go to Oklahoma City radar. You can see that there is just a little bit of drier air here. It is different from radar site to radar site. That's why we use the MRM. But what we're seeing is, actually, let's go ahead and go to the MRMs here, which is the radar mosaic. You can see over the last few hours, over the last few frames, especially right in here, you can begin to see that snow fill in on that back side. So Oklahoma City, it was bare there a few hours ago. It is going to be snowing pretty heavily there in Edmond and Stillwater. You're going to get some snow, a lot of snow. Tulsa, all of this is going to congeal up again before moving into our area for round 2. It's going to collide with a cold front, and that's going to bring some more forcing mechanisms into this area, which is going to trigger more precipitation. It's kind of squeeze that moisture out. Think of it like when you're washing a dish and you have a washcloth, and when you're done washing the dish, you take the dish and you kind of wring it out, and all that moisture comes out. That's what's going to happen when we get that cold front to push through. It's going to be like a wash rag. All of that moisture is going to be wrung out in the form of snow right over here in the Tulsa area. And that is why, if we go to the models and take a look at the most recent run of the HRRR, that is why, if you look very closely in the Tulsa region, we could see anywhere from an additional 5 to 6 inches of snow from the remainder of tonight's winter storm. So let's go back to the national radar, which shows the true expanse of the system. All the way down in Dallas area, south of Dallas, are dealing with a wintry mix. We got sleet and we got freezing rain in this area. South of that, we're going to be dealing with a cold rain. So Birmingham, and Huntsville, Alabama, which is very interesting, are included in their first winter storm warning since January 19th, 2024. So in over a year. And their winter storm warning includes 1 to 5 inches of snow accumulation. Atlanta metro area is included in a winter storm warning, the first winter storm warning in many years for this portion of the United States. They can see up to 3 inches and ice accumulations up to 1/3 of an inch. That is almost a crippling ice storm. That is definitely a significant ice storm there. Still have some winter storm watches in Virginia Beach and areas south. Same with Richmond. All of North Carolina, except for Wilmington, is under some sort of winter weather alert. We will be back with you. It is 7:40. We will be back with you to continue our winter storm coverage here, full team coverage with members out in the field and expert analysis here in the field. We will be continuing our coverage at 8 o'clock. So stay with us here at Pure Weather. We will be back at 8 o'clock with more live updates and more radar analysis. Thank you guys for watching us, and we will see you then. and welcome back. It is 8 o'clock now on this Thursday evening. A very significant winter storm is currently making its trek across the country. We are live with team coverage from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tonight, we got Andrew Pasley, Jill Dunbar, Andrew Fawcett, me. I'm Andrew Austin Adler. We got 3 Andrews with you tonight. And, of course, a brand new member of our team just arrived. We got Mary with us, who will be doing a live shot for the first time this evening. Before we go out there, I would like to talk about and take you through what we're seeing now on the radar MRMs. So if you don't know, if you're just joining us tonight, an MRM is basically a radar mosaic of every single radar site in the nation. We can see every inch of precipitation that's going on at the same time. Of course, the data is a little less extensive, a little less, the resolution's a little less, it's a little more grainy, but you can see the bigger picture here. All of this is snow, and it will continue to propagate east as we head into tomorrow and the day after. Winter storm warning in effect for Tulsa, Oklahoma. Heavy snow with additional snow accumulations between 4 and 6 inches is the official forecast. I believe that we are overperforming that forecast quite a bit, as we did do some measuring and we went out to the roads and did an Instagram live shot between coverage segments, and we do have Mary Fawcett, who is out there right now, who can tell you more about what we saw and what we found. Mary. Mary, you're live. The joys of live TV. And she was muted. That's our sound guy. All right, Mary, sorry. You were muted. And we still can't hear.
Okay, we're going to switch back to you, Adler.
All right, we'll come back to me while they iron out that situation. The joys of live television and live reporting. So you can see we're going to go ahead and switch to the localized radar site. This is single site radar, higher resolution.
Yes, it's on now.
Oh, and we got it working? We got it working, I'm told. Okay, let's try this again. We were outside earlier today between coverage segments, and we went down to the roads to take a look at what the snow was doing. And Mary, do you mind telling us a little bit about what we found?
Yeah, the roads are like
There we go.
super icy. If you don't have to drive, do not drive. It is not going to be safe. It's not a good idea. It's not worth your talkies, I promise.
All right, Mary, and what are you noticing about the snowfall rates and the temperature out there?
It's definitely getting lighter. It's not as heavy as it was last time we were out here. And it's definitely, not definitely, but it's probably a little bit warmer than it was earlier. Maybe like a degree or 2. So not that much, but it's definitely a little warmer.
All right, and do you have a measuring tape on you? What did we find with the measurements earlier, and then how do they compare to now?
So I'm not entirely sure what the measurements were earlier, but I do know that the line that was cleared earlier, over the last hour and 15 minutes, it is about half an inch, I would say.
Some decent accumulation rates.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our radar. Thank you so much, Mary, for that fantastic coverage. And if we take a look at the radar, we can actually see that we are just now coming out of a kind of radar hole here. And we are in the midst of a very intense band. If not right now, it will start within the next few minutes. And with that comes decreasing visibilities and snowfall rates of about a few inches per hour. Anyways, do you think we'll be getting Andrew Fawcett up to do a live shot? We'll wait on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the model. As it is 8 o'clock now, we should have a brand new model setup from the high resolution rapid refresh. So, let's go over here. This was the 0Z guidance. It showed an additional 5 to 6 to 7 inches of snow within the next 14 hours. Now, this is what ran at 6 o'clock. We're now going to find out the run that ran at 7 o'clock or not, because that will be, okay, not ready yet. There it is. There it is. All right, let's go to the precipitation type. This was at 01Z. This is now at 02Z, which is right now at 8 o'clock. Local time, you can see we do have that dry air still punching in as the model resolves it. A little bit of a higher pressure isobar here, so those winds are a little bit more intense than they were a few seconds ago. I remember at the start we were looking at winds that were knocking over our camera equipment outside. So let's go ahead and take this forward. We do have 33% of this run finished because it just started. As you know, we do get these runs every hour. This is at 9 o'clock. It's still snowing, and that dry punch gets a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger there before eventually it begins to fill in. This is at 05Z, so this is 11 p.m. It's beginning to fill in on that backside. Snow rates do increase a lot over Tulsa. This is moderate to heavy snow over Tulsa County, which is right there. Moderate to heavy banding out to the south and west. That's going to advect northward. Then we got another band of moderate to sometimes even heavy snow off to our northwest. That's going to fill in as we head through the overnight hours. And that's where, of course, it finishes off for now. It will continue to run as this is the most recent run. So this is over the next few hours. 3 inches between now and this is 3 additional inches. So 07Z, about 4 or 5 a.m. This model is showing 3 additional inches. And as we continue this forward, 4 additional inches in Collinsville. So about in Tulsa, that's 5 additional inches between now and 5 in the morning. Of course, it is still very heavily snowing at this point in time. So during our next segment, of course, we will come back and we will look at how this run finished out. We don't really have much to report about the roads. Let's go ahead and take a look at these roads. I want to refresh, see how the road conditions are doing. Yeah, so we got severely covered snow roads in Tulsa. Let's go take a look out south. You can see, kind of clearly, you can see that there is snow cover on the road here. And all of that, when the snow started falling, it melted on impact with the roads and it got them wet. And now that we have temperatures that have dropped to 29 degrees, all of that wetness, all of that thin layer of water is now being frozen, turned to ice with new snowpack being put on top of that. I believe these are live cameras. This is Highway US 6475 northbound on the highway. We're going to zoom in a little bit on that. Fully covered in snow on that highway. That is a fully covered highway snow. And it is still snowing out there. Oops. It is still snowing. So this is why we say if you don't need to get out tonight, just don't do it. We do have closed roads here with all that snow. We have plows on those roads there in the Panhandle. Those are the only roads that are actually closed within the state. Any of these roads that are in yellow, I would recommend you treat them as if they are closed because they are severely covered in snow. Here's an image of a plow going down north of downtown Tulsa. As you can see, so much snow covering these roads and a lot more to go. Take a look here. Weather County. Oh, we got to go to Tulsa County. Driving in these conditions can be dangerous. Please avoid driving as possible. If you must travel, use extreme caution, reduce speed, and stay back 200 feet from snow removal equipment. We have a lot of plows that are out tonight. that are going around the city streets, which is why we urge you to please stay indoors. Do not drive if you don't need to, and we need to let the city workers do their job in clearing these roads for the morning commute tomorrow. Of course, it will still be snowing during the morning commute tomorrow, but at least it won't be packed on ice overnight. If we take a look at I-44, we're going to go along I-44 northbound to Tulsa. You can see I-44 is very much covered in snow, almost severely covered in snow in some areas. We will be back with more road conditions in our next segment, which is due to take place at 8:35. No, 8:35. Or we'll just go 8:30. Think we'll do 8:30? Yeah, next coverage segment will begin at about 8:30. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mary did phenomenal coverage. We'll be back with Mary and Andrew Fawcett both doing a live segment in our next coverage. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at 8:30. And welcome back, everyone, to our winter storm coverage. We are covering a significant winter storm as it impacts Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas tonight. Primarily here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we have a lot of people out in the field with us. We got 2 live shots this round. We are getting a live shot from Mary Fawcett and a live shot from Andrew Fawcett together, plus some radar analysis and some model analysis. We do have that 01ZHRRR model is now fully loaded and in, and we can go over that, what it does with the dry slot, what it does with the cold front crashing in, and how much more snow we can reasonably expect for the remainder of the snow tonight. First, we're looking at the MRM data, and you can see this big, wide expanse of weather here. That is our system. A lot of snow. Look at all these warnings, all the warnings in purple. Those are winter weather advisories for less significant impacts, and everything in pink is more significant impacts, including those blue areas down over by the coast. Zooming in for our single site radar here in Tulsa, we are still getting clobbered by this band of snow, and if we go down to the Oklahoma City radar, we can see that that band of snow will not be coming to an end anytime soon. I think we're in the home stretch here in terms of lots of snow. The height of the storm is nigh. We have Mary Fawcett, who is outside right now, and we're going to go ahead and switch over there. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So earlier in the line that we made, I took a step in there on accident, and it is almost completely covered now, and that was only like 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, these snow rates are really picking up, it seems. Is it heavier than your last live shot, or is it lighter?
It's definitely heavier, yes.
Yeah, we're back in one of those pretty heavy bands for a little bit. All right, what are you seeing in the totals?
So over in... I don't have the measuring tape. I lied. Yes, I do. So over here in the more grassy area, I'm seeing 2 inches, which is, I would say, fairly significant. Wait, no, I lied. That's on concrete.
2 inches on concrete. Okay. Yeah,
2 inches on concrete.
I was a bit perplexed because the grass has been accumulating for longer.
Yeah, no. 2 inches on concrete, and then in the grass we got about 2.5, closer to 3.
Yep, that tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. So, how's the wind out there? I remember when we opened the door between shots, the snow was blowing pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would say the wind has decreased a little bit. It's more just down instead of like in a certain direction.
Okay, so the wind has decreased a little bit. That's what I would expect because the wind is kind of decreasing in intensity with that heavy snowfall. All right, is there anything else that you would like to show us out there?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
All right. Well, thank you, Mary, for that wonderful... Thank you for that live report out there. We will be back with Andrew Fawcett later at the end of this segment, but for now, I'm going to take you back to the HRRR model, who is now running their O1Z run. So remember, this model runs every hour on the hour. So this one began running at about 7 p.m. It's 8:30. So it's a little bit behind. That's why it initializes 1 hour later. So this is what it looks like at 8 o'clock. And we showed this at the last segment. You can see that dry punch coming through that's undercutting those snow totals. Dry air advection from Mexico and New Mexico that's coming in there and kind of getting the snow out of the way. And that's why we have winter weather advisories in that area instead of winter storm warnings, because the dry air is really messing with the snow totals in that region. As we move this forward, you can see that dry air persists until about midnight. This is midnight. maybe a little bit before midnight. And you can see that dry punch really gets close into central Oklahoma, but still misses us to the west, which is what all the CAM models, the convective allowing models, have been showing in the last few runs leading up to this event, which is why confidence in the snowfall and significant snowfall has grown so much here in the last few days to issue a warning. As we continue through, this is 1 a.m., 2 a.m., there we go. That is about 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you can see that snow band is finally out. All of that dry air here has been filled in with snow, and we are in a very heavy snow band right now, very locally heavy snow band here, and there is another snow band off to our west, and another very moderate to heavy snow taking place over northwestern Oklahoma. That's going to congeal in this area here as time goes on and as this begins to move out. Now we still have a few hours left of snow. This is at 4, 5, 6 in the morning now. 12Z, it's about 6, 7 a.m. And then it begins to taper off towards the end of the day. We're still some lingering snow showers. This is about 10 in the morning here. Let's go ahead and take a look at how much snow we still have left to go. This is on top of the current snowfall totals. Within the last hour, the HRRR projects that we've received another 1/4 of an inch of snowfall accumulated here. Another 1/4 of an inch within the last hour. I'm not sure if that's correct because we haven't really... If we take a look at our automated data plotter, no new reports have been added to the analysis, so we really don't know how much additional snow we have on the ground right now, at least officially anyway. Moving on, so we're going to take a look at the 00Z suite for all the models before we go back out to Andrew Fawcett, who will be finishing out this segment live again with another live shot. We're going to forward this through, so this is at 03Z, so this is 9 p.m. An additional 1.3 inches will have fallen. Additional 2 inches on the ground by the time we hit midnight, 3 inches. Something very interesting about this is through midday tomorrow, the HRRR is projecting an additional 6.5 inches in Tulsa, Oklahoma. An additional 6 inches on top of what we already have. That might be overblowing it. I've said it all throughout the night that might be overblowing it. The ratios might be a little less than 10 to 1. That's why I haven't been showing 10 to 1. 4.5 is more like what we're seeing. But then again, the thermodynamic environment in the evening as that cold front crashes through, it is 29 degrees right now. So the thermodynamic environment is favorable for big snows here. So the HRRR high-res rapid refresh model might be correct in saying we get another 6.5 inches of snow in this storm by Monday. We're going to look at a few more models before Andrew Fawcett takes the lead out there and does another live shot with us. The RIP model is in, and this one's a doozy, right? This is the 00Z, so this came in a few hours ago, showing an additional 7.5 inches of snowfall in southern Tulsa between now and the end of this storm. That's almost hard to believe because we already have like 3 to 5 inches on the ground from what we've measured at our location. So this is what it looks like now. It's 02Z. You can definitely see that dry punch that we've been talking about all day. There it is. As we progress this forward, though, you can see it actually gets out of here by midnight. And some very heavy snow takes its place, moderate to heavy snow. This is 10Z. Here's 6 in the morning. Still snowing. 10 a.m. It is still snowing by 10 in the morning tomorrow. And snow should finally be out of here by the time we hit noon. And that gives us an additional about 7 inches, if this is to be believed. I'm not sure if that's to be believed. That's including what we had today already. So these model runs are definitely some top 10 ones. The NAM, I honestly believe, is more accurate despite its depictions here. The snowfall is out of here at the same time as the other ones. only shows us getting about 4 additional inches by then, and that is a more digestible number for us here in Oklahoma, at least in my opinion. We're going to look at one more model, and the NAM NST model has us getting about 3 more inches between now and then. So there's definitely a big discrepancy between the high-resolution rapid refresh model and the NAM suites, which we're going to have to see which one verifies better. We're going to go ahead and go out to Andrew Fawcett, who is out with us doing another live shot. What are you seeing?
Snow seems about the same right now. Still coming down pretty heavy, pretty hard. Snow's still very wet, very heavy. It's accumulating. This line we made probably about 2.5 hours ago. Now it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Really? Just
Nah,
totally
it's gone.
gone, like it's totally fused. Now, I saw some tire tracks out there. Can you still see them?
So the tire tracks, we can see them. However, the treads are gone.
The treads are gone. Wow.
So they're smoothed over. But there's an indent.
So something that I like to observe when we have big snowfall events is whether or not you can still see where the curve meets the road. Like, can you still see that indent there, or is it all flush now with snow?
So far, I mean, I can still see where the curb meets it. We haven't really had enough wind to create that drift to, like, kind of...
That's fair.
But, yeah.
So, snow accumulations, how much do you think we got?
Since last time we were out here, or
Yeah.
just in total?
No, just in total and since last time. I actually want to know both.
Okay, so, I mean, in total, we've definitely gotten a lot. I'm out here in the parking lot right now. Like you said, we're looking at, like, 2 right here, which is like still an increase. If we were to go out here, probably further into the grass, we're probably still looking at 3-4 inches, maybe even 5 in some places. With drift, it can get up to 6 and 7.
That is a lot of snow. Compared to earlier in the week when most forecasts called for 1 to 2 inches of snow in this area, we are being whammed with a very high-end significant snowstorm, at least in the Tulsa, Oklahoma records. It has been snowing since 11 a.m. We are actually encroaching on 12 straight hours of heavy snow. So it will be interesting to see how much snow we have on the ground then. All right, is there anything else you would like to add?
It's very pretty out here. Don't
That
drive,
it is.
But if you want to,
That it
I'd
is.
go outside and look at it. It's very nice out here.
That it is. It is very pretty out there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrew Fawcett, for that fantastic
Yep.
live stream. We're going to take one more look back at the radar, and then we're going to take a little bit of a prolonged break before we come back at about 9:15-ish, just to kind of settle down and take a little bit of a break. Covering these storms is definitely a lot of work, so kudos to everyone who is here helping with us. Actually, heavy snow total accumulations have been upgraded. 5 more inches is what the National Weather Service expects. It's been upgraded from 4. So, additional accumulations between 3 and 5 inches. There. We're going to take one look here at the radar. This is what we have now, and you can see in the last few frames we've really filled in with that moisture on the backside. I think that cold front is finally beginning to kind of crash through, and we're going to fill in just a little bit there. If we go to the KTLX radar out of Oklahoma City, very heavy band up in this region that's going to propagate. Tulsa still dealing with prolonged sustained snowfall. Back to the MRM. MRMs. There we go. That's what our current radar looks like. Still waiting on that backside to fill in, but we are still dealing with a lot of snow coming down. And we will be back at 9:15. 9:30. We will be back at 9:30, everyone. Thank you so much for watching with us at PureWeather. Stick it with here. We will be back in an hour, a little under an hour, with an update on our situation. Before then, over the next hour, you can expect a little bit of some dwindling precipitation, a little bit of a degradation in the snowfall rates temporarily before they pick up again as we head deeper into the overnight hours. Stick with us on Pure Weather. We'll take a little bit of a break, and we will be back at 9:30.
hey, y'all, I'm coming on the mic for just a second to say that things are getting dicey out there, and we probably need to be safe and leave. So stay posted on Adler's Instagram for any updates or anything like that. But we are done for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, but we need to go.